Assalamu alaikum. This is part 2 about the feminine sound plural. باب معرفة علامات الإعراب. للرفع 4 علامات: الضمة والواو والألف والنون. فأما الضمة فتكون علامة للرفع في 4 مواضع: في الاسم المفرد وجمع التكسير وجمع المؤنث السالم والفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء. So we finish with the sound feminine plural. Here we have examples from the book we discussed before for elementary schools. So here it says المذكر والمؤنث. They're introducing what is the masculine and feminine. مذكر, masculine, مؤنث, feminine. So examples for masculine: Yusufu, that's a proper name. Joseph, Yusuf. Jamalun, that's a camel, a male. Jamalun. Kitabun, that's a book. That's also masculine. Examples for feminine: here notice they give you examples that have no distinguishing marks. So here it's a proper name, Maryam, which is Mary in English, proper name. And here naqatun, you see this is a female camel. So notice here naqatun. We will talk more about the sta in the names that are not adjectives. So this is a female camel. And yadun. Yadun is hand. So notice there is no marks here to indicate whether it's a feminine or a masculine, but this is a feminine, and we'll discuss this more in a second. So these are the examples. So when you analyze a text, you'll come across names like these or nouns. There are ways to find out whether they are masculine or feminine. Sometimes you have clues in the text itself, and sometimes you just have to go to the dictionary. If we see some more examples here, if you read a text and it says هذا يوسف, you see هذا, we know this is a demonstrative noun. It's this. This هذا means this. هذا for masculine. So if you read the text and says هذا يوسف, you immediately know that Yusuf is masculine noun. If you read here, it says man hada. Man is who, man. A fatha or a short vowel a to help you pronounce the letter here. That's not a vowel. Like here is the ma. So I say ma, I don't say mu or mi. I say ma because of this fatha. And here it would have a sukun. If this had diacritics on it, it would look like this. This here is a circle. So this is who in Arabic. So if it says who this, and hada is a masculine. This is this, who's this, for masculine. That's how you recognize the noun. Ma hada, ma is usually used with non-intelligent nouns. So they're not humans, either animals or inanimate objects like books. So here it says ma hada, also the masculine is used. So this is an animal, jamal, a male camel. So by reading this hada, this, you recognize this is okay, this is masculine because of this clue here. Here same thing, ma hada, using this ma. What? This ma is what? What is this? In Arabic you don't have the to be form like is, are, or am, but the grammarian would say that it is implied in there. Here it's implied the is. So if you say in English, what is this? In Arabic you just read it, what this, but the is implied in there. So ma hada. What is this? هذا masculine, book, kitabun. You see, it's an inanimate object. and I know it's masculine because they use the demonstrative noun here. And here, man هذه, you see they use the هذه. هذه is for feminine. So هذه مريم. That's the clue to figure out, okay, this proper noun is feminine, that because they use this هذه with. ما هذه? هذه ناقة. You see this here is the she camel. It's a female of this kind of animal, the camel. So they give it a different noun. If you do not know the separate name for a female of an animal, just say the female of the animal. And that's how it works. You say female camel or female lion and so on. That's how it's done. So you say أنثى الجمل. أنثى is female. So you say أنثى الجمل. But if you know the name, like here, you use it. هذه ناقة. ما هذه? هذه يد. This is a hand. So now you know, because they used in the language, they used هذه, when they point to a hand, that's how we know the hand is feminine. So I thought this is important to point out this early in the course because it's about analyzing text. So that's another clue you can use. We talked about this before, but this is extra examples. Here they just expand on that. We're just talking about how using the هذا and هذه. Here we have an exercise. بين المذكر والمؤنث مما يأتي. Indicate which is masculine, which is feminine out of these nouns here. So because I know the language, I know how to point to these things. So that's how I can decide. I know I point to this word here, مسافر, a traveler. I say هذا. So I know this is masculine. This is a box, صندوق. I say هذا. So that's masculine. Ilyas is a proper name. And it's used for men or masculine. I point to it هذا. So that's how I'm used to, that's how I know it. So سعدة here, I say هذه. علياء here, I say هذه. So I know this is feminine. But say some of these words, especially if for natives they speak the colloquial, and the colloquial it's not following exact rules all the time, and the classical. So sometimes you have to check, even if you think you know it. So you at one time you need to check the dictionary. Unless you are reading a text that has that demonstrative noun, or there is other clues we will cover in a second. So here, if we look for, let's say, قدم here, you can look for it in the dictionary. This is a page from Arab Lessana, a dictionary. You can Google it. This is advanced, but the point is that you get familiar with it. So if you go here, it gives you the index. If I go there, you see you can scroll to the letter. So we want to check for the word قدم. The first letter is the qa, qaf. The second is the letter in the word is the da, dal. So it should be in the beginning here. I see how far I can go by scrolling down. So I stare at the qabl here. You see this is the da. The second letter is the da, the dal. Here is the first one. So the third one is the and it's usually among the last of the letters. I'll just scroll down this qa after the da. Here. You see now, this is here the word qadam. So if we scroll down, see where it starts. Here, it started over here. قدم. And you can look into here. You see he used an adjective here. It said السابقة في الأمر. So he uses a feminine adjective to describe it. So that's a clue for me that this is feminine. You see here قدم معروفة. You see this is an adjective, feminine adjective. So when you analyze a text like this, and that's a good point, is to use the dictionary. All dictionaries like these, you see how big the text is, and it gives you more diacritics on the words. So you can zoom on this. If I zoom on this here, you see the word قدم معروفة. معروفة, you see this ta, the feminizing ta at the adjective. So that's a clue that this is a feminine name. So that's how you can use a dictionary to find out what the word is, if it's a feminine or if it's a masculine. Now, if we go back to our original text, so now we decided that this word is feminine by looking into the dictionary. Same thing you can do with all these. So that's your way of doing this. If the text doesn't have clues to tell you what the word is, you can just check the dictionary. And we discussed one clue, which is to point to it with a feminine indicator or demonstrative noun or a masculine. You can do the same thing here. In here, I just want to introduce this resource. This called أقرب الموارد. Don't worry about reading this. It's an artistic way of writing the words, but that's the name of it. في فصح العربية والشوارد. It's a dictionary, and it's a free one available from Arabic collections online. This is the link for it. So this here is the author, تأليف, سعيد الخوري. That's the name. Khori is the Arabic word for priest. That's his family name, Shartuni Lubnani. Lubnani means he's from Lebanon. So that's the author. That's the introduction. Al-Faqiru ilayhi ta'ala. That's he's in need of God. That's high or praised. His name is Sa'id Al-Khuri. I don't know if this is a title or if it's in the family name, but I think this is a title because this here is a Shartuni, sounds like a family name. Then he's a Lebanese. Here is usually they put a prayer at the end of the introduction. Maybe he may be forgiven or something like this. Rights preserved. Was printed in the Mursalli, the press of Mursalli الياسوعية ببيروت. I'm not sure with the names for Christians, different denominations, but I think Yasu'iyya here means Jesuit. So that could be the interpretation for that. The year is 1889. So that's an old dictionary. But it's useful. You will see what I'm talking about because for our purposes, analyzing text, dictionaries are the main tool. So in here, you see this dictionary. Each dictionary covers something the other does not. So they emphasize something another dictionary does not. So in here, they talk about this ta. I talked about the feminizing ta. But notice here at the beginning, before he starts describing or using nouns that have the ta, you see here he listed how this ta is used in the Arabic language. So here in this one paragraph, you have an access to different ways how this ta was used. And here at the beginning it says التاء المفردة موضوعة للتأنيث. The individual ta, this letter ta, or ta, two dots, or sometimes you see it like this, or like this, or two dots, so it will be like this, or it will be like this, tied. This is called tied ta. It's either when it's connected to a word, it's like this, or if it's separate like this. Now, sometimes it's opened. That's what it's called, tied. Then they open it. And sometimes, if you stop at it, when you read something, you don't pronounce this ta. You say ha, it becomes a. Anyway, here it says it's used for feminizing. So if a masculine noun, you just add this ta to it, becomes feminine. In here, he used the word قائمة, standing. So قائم, he is standing. قائمة, she is standing. Just by adding this ta there, you see this ta I wrote here, this one or this one, it's over here. قائمة, standing, she is standing. Now he starts listing other usages for this ta. وقد ترد لمعان أخر, other meanings, but it always go back to feminizing. So it's used for a relation. If you say he's from Morocco, you say a group, you say مغاربة. This ta, you see it. If it's used for an individual of a species, here he uses the word tree. Shajar is the name of the species of this plant, shajar, just general, trees in general. The singular of it is shajara. So he's saying here it's used to indicate the singular. You see this here, ta. And you have more usages here. Different ways of using this ta. As a pronoun, as a feminizing, all the usages of this ta. Of course, you're not going to remember this. This is reference. That's how you use. When you analyze text, dictionaries are for reference. But when you read this, you can just copy this. When you open this in your PDF viewer, you just copy this a part of it that you want to know about and paste it to social media or Google and ask about it. So that's a good resource to have. And this way, when you come across a text and you're wondering why this ta was used or how it's used, the noun have it sometimes it does not, what happened when it was added, and things like this. So this is a good way to deal with these letters. So some dictionaries will start with listing the different usages of this letter and how it's used in all of the language, and that gives you a singular point of concentrated information. Now you can just break it down. For our purposes, we just need this line here, the first line here. التاء المفردة, the singular ta, is used for or put for feminizing, like قائمة. Now he starts listing other usages for it. And each one of these, you can just go deeper and deeper in it. You follow the books. So I wanted to share this resource. You can use it like this, or you can use the other dictionary. So on each dictionary, just go to the first article about that letter and see what they choose to discuss. This saves a lot of time. Of course, as I said, in these videos we discuss text and analyzing text. So everything I say or I do is directed at that purpose, to give you clues or ways to help you analyze text. See you at the next video, inshallah.